Well, we've reached the business end of the Chesapeake Division season, and it is Wednesday night midweek action here from Charlottesville High School. You just witnessed, likely earlier in the day on Sports Engine Play, the Charlottesville Blues women's side taking on Annapolis Blues again, and we're not going to mention the score as we are on home soil here in Charlottesville, but if you do want to know, you can look it up. But now it is the men's side getting ready to take on Patuxent Athletic. It is a battle of 5 versus 8 here on the field at Charlottesville High School. Marshall Emmert is my name. Camille Gutt alongside me, coming off that broadcast of that women's game. Camille, should be a fun one tonight. The Blues looking to rebound, get 3 points here at home, something they have failed to do up to this point in the season.
Yes, Marshall, absolutely. It should be a stark contrast between the men and the women tonight. If you look at it on paper, but of course football is not played on paper.
Nope.
And regardless, the Blues men looking to get not just their second win of the season, but as you mentioned, the first win of the season at home. And no better time and opportunity to do it than tonight against Patuxent, which has largely been the punching bag of this division, sitting on just 1 point through 7 matches. And, of course, also Christos as well coming up. This is a great stretch of matches for this Blues side to recover some form. And, of course, coming off that really good draw that was almost a win against Lionsbridge on the road recently.
Yeah, we'll speak about that in a moment, but we'll briefly take a look at the standings as the match is set to begin. Lionsbridge, as Camille mentioned, the league leaders. They drew 3-3 with these Blues earlier on the road. They now lead the division, tied actually on goal difference alone by 18 points with Northern Virginia FC, who has really found some form of late. They started out pretty sluggish in the season, but have really hit their stride. They are in second place, behind only on goal difference. Virginia Beach United in third place, sitting on 17 points, just a point off of first. It's tight up there at the top. Annapolis Blues, 12 points in fourth, and in a distant fifth, just on 6 points, are these Blues. They lead their opponents tonight, though, by 5 as Patuxent sits 8th. Virginia Marauders FC in 6th with 5. And Christos, again, as Camille mentioned, another punching bag of the league, sitting on just 3 points. Patuxent looking for its first win of the year tonight, but a tall order against a Blues team that put on, as you said, a really, really spectacular performance last time out, a 3-3 draw. Zomber Paul and the two defenders, Luke Madden and Josh Yoder, both finding the net in that one. And that put the difficult result of losing on the road to Northern Virginia United 3-1 out of sight, out of mind. Parker Sloan was the goal scorer in that one. And away we go here from Charlottesville High. It is the hometown Blues taking on, I guess, the Greens of Patuxent, as we try to give them a nickname here. I'm going to go with the Greens for now. Let's come up with something better. This is Samuel Vigilante. Down the left wing he goes. Dumps it off. And now the Blues approaching with some pace. Corey tries to get on the other end of that, but that is cleared away for a Charlottesville throw in a promising area of the pitch. Let's set your starting lineups for the home team, Ryan Gallagher in goal. Parker Sloan, Luke Madden, Josh Yoder, and Evan Fiedler are your 4 at the back. In the midfield, Zachary Martins, Samuel Vigilante, and Marquez Nanasinkum. And then up front, 3-man tandem of Sulaiman Abdul Mateen down the right, David Okori, the local kid, the Virginia man, down the left wing, and Zomber Paul, the big Hungarian, up the middle in the center forward position. A little bit of ping pong as the ball dribbles out towards the Charlottesville bench. Throw in for Patuxent.
It's been a scorching hot day in Charlottesville here, and luckily, though, for the men, cooling down a little bit as we get into the late night hours and the evening hours, and they'll be looking to make it mostly one-way traffic tonight. As we mentioned, Patuxent, the punching bag of this division, and they've conceded 22 goals now in 7 games. And even though the Blues maybe haven't been in top goal-scoring form all season long, they're coming off that 3-goal performance on the road, and this is another opportunity to build off that.
It is the Greens on the attack here, though. Terry Fonfon tried to break with some pace, but he ran into the brick wall that is Josh Yoder. Yoder delivers up to Fiedler. Promising-looking ball here to Vigilante into a promising area towards the 18. Dribbling towards the center. Still with it here. Plenty of time as he offloads to Nanasinka. Evan Fiedler. Nanasinka. Little jostle there from Fonfon as they give that one back to Luke Madden. A little bit of a long ball towards Abdul Mateen. No problem, though, for the winger. Seville's number 11. Lay it off to Parker Sloan. Sloan under pressure in the corner. Nice little layoff to Vigilante again. Into the box he goes, looking to maybe set up a left foot shot. No, he lays it off to Okori. Okori at the edge of the box. Now to Nanasinkham. Back down to Sloan. Little layoff. Here's Okori. Okori with great feet into the dangerous part of the area. Paul shoots, and the flag is up.
Well, a wonderfully well-worked phase of possession there by the Blues. At first moment, it seemed like no one was really taking on that final responsibility of just shooting the ball, but you could see the patterns of play the Blues are already trying to build through.
Indeed, Paul not looking a gift horse in the mouth in the slightest. He was looking around as if to say, wait, no one's going to get on the end of this? All right, I guess I will. It was a good finish. Unfortunately, timed the run imperfectly. And joy has been taken from them prematurely. And the match remains knotted up.
Paul, of course, one of the goal scorers in that Lions Bridge match. He's level with Abdul Mateen, with leading the Blues this season with 2 goals now. And the Blues, all 3 of their goals in that match were on set pieces or corner kicks, or vice versa. And they used their height and their physicality to really punish Lions Bridge. And Paul was on the end of that first one on a ball that fell to him in the box with a really neat finish at the close post. So it may take some different types of phases of play for the Blues to score in this one, because it seems like Patuxent is very open in the back there and just really kind of sitting back, allowing the Blues to kind of build through them.
Gives us a chance here with a lull of play to set your starters for Patuxent, the visitors. Jameson Metz has the number 1 shirt in goal. Aymeric Mouliam, Tyler Pulick, Hippolyte Del Hayes, Noel Williamson, Aiden Clayton, Kevin Habibalahi, William Villatoro, who is the dangerous goal-scoring threat for Patuxent, Brandon Betts, and Lutho Munguza, rounding out the visiting 11. Villatoro is responsible for the last 2 goals Patuxent has scored, spaced 4 weeks apart. First coming back on May 31st, and then the second on June the 11th. That was the most recent time this Patuxent athletics team found the net. They were blanked 3-0 last time out to Virginia Beach United. The Blues finding their way out of their own third. Charging forward. Samuel Vigilante with a very impressive charge. But it is closed down in just enough time by Pulick before Vigilante is able to set something up that may beat Metz for real.
Yeah, Vigilante's been very involved early here, and in a couple of moments has maybe had a little bit of indecisiveness, trying to involve his teammates, maybe a little bit too late there. He was just trying to, of course, had to do it all himself and was just a little bit second best with the pace.
And here now is Williamson. Cross in a dangerous part of the area, and it just gets by Gallagher. No one touched it, and it will be a Charlottesville goal kick.
Yeah, nervy moment there. Gallagher coming off his line, maybe just a little bit late, expecting one of his defenders to get on the end of that, and did well at the end of that to kind of avoid clashing in with that striker and giving up a free penalty or anything along those lines.
That was Villatoro who set that one up.
Hey, as you mentioned, he's going to be the danger man tonight. Has been really one of the only bright spots for a winless season so far for this Patuxent side.
This is Zach Martins through the midfield. Fiedler now. Promising looking for Okore. Okore under pressure. Does very well to keep his feet for only just a moment. It goes out for a Patuxent throw. Just about 8 minutes gone. Jamison Metz has been beaten once in the Patuxent goal, but the offside flag was up. And that has been the only substantial chance of the match so far. If you count, or rather if you don't count the cross from Villatoro a moment ago on the other end that nearly flummoxed Ryan Gallagher. That one's going to go out for a Charlottesville throw.
Blues team sheet today, a little bit rotated. Of course, in midfield, no Graham Dugald, so it's going to be on one of those three of Corey Martins or Vigilante to take the reins there. It seems like Vigilante so far has filled in that role substantially.
He's been impressive with his energy, certainly. Throw incoming. Not sure where that was going. I think Abdul Mateen didn't think he had any room to run on the end of that. But no harm, no foul. Sloan will pick it up and have another go as we approach the 10-minute mark here in this match.
But just not being in the team sheet, who have been forced to reckon with down each side for Charlottesville so far this season.
Indeed, very well spotted. Paul thinks for a moment about trying to act dangerous on that one, but he will give quarter to Metz on this occasion. Long ball attempt. Commendable energy from Fonfon, who has been bouncing all over the place. Kind of in a Darwin Nunez-esque kind of way for those who watch the Premier League. You don't really know where he's going to go or what he's going to do when he gets there. But it is fun to watch. That
absolutely, a little bit unpredictable, and that can, rear its ugly head sometimes, but in other moments, come through for you when you really don't expect it. So we'll see if he can be a difference maker behind Villatoro tonight.
Long pass looking for Villatoro, but it is caught in front of by Parker Sloan. Sloan, another Virginia man, his teammate David Okore up on the left wing position. Vigilante to Fiedler. The give back. Okore, lovely layoff from Okore. And now this is a very promising moment here. Vigilante! And the finish needed to be a lot better.
Yeah, that's all it needed. A fantastic link up by the hometown midfielder Okore to Vigilante. Had all the time in the world to pick his spot and just got too much underneath it. One he'll want back, of course.
That's tragic. That definitely, not to put yourself in the shoes of the attacker there, but you really have to think probably you want to go like low on the far post or something like that instead of trying to hit the top corner at that range.
Absolutely. And with the angle he kind of had there, defender backing off of him and a couple more bodies coming into the box to his right could have, the goalkeeper there is kind of just rooted to his spot, not really expecting it to go to a certain side, had anywhere to choose from, and you really just have to get the shot on target.
Neat little work with the head here by Patuxent. It was almost good there from Williamson. But his pass couldn't find Clayton, and that's another turnover. We saw Patuxent really working on the passing under pressure in their warm-ups pre-match. We'll see if that ends up coming in handy a little bit later on, as Slaman Abdul-Mateen makes a nice adjustment from his left back Fiedler there. Lays off to Martins. Martins under pressure from Villatoro, really owning up to the Toro in the back end of his last name. Some good bullish play.
Absolutely, you have to be brave as an attacker and take your moments wisely.
Okore. Lovely footwork from Okore. Can't find the angle as he's closed down. Boy, his touches are just so silky smooth from Okore so far. He looks like the most dangerous attacker on the pitch right now.
Honestly, this entire midfield has just been running through this Patuxent side with relative ease. It's just about, that those final decisions, the decision making, whether to involve your attackers or take it yourself. And of course, it goes without saying you have to be clinical.
Well, we'll see if they're able to stay clinical and try to make an advantage count. 0-0 so far. 1 goal disallowed by the offside. As Paul turns, Okore knew he was offside there, and he stopped his run immediately. Already a pretty palpable advantage being applied by what, at least outwardly, seems the taller, stronger Charlottesville side. But Patuxent has not played too far below themselves. They've looked dangerous at points. And talking with Tommy Denuzzo before the game, he said how important it was going to be for his side to control the flow of the game very early on, as that's a nice pass going into the area, but broken up and sent away. But if you can control the game early on, this is going to be an easy 90 minutes. But if you're not able to put a firm hand on it immediately, it's going to be a long night against these guys who look like they can really run for hours. Sloan. Vigilante. Over to Madden. Tries to give something that Abdul-Mateen can run to the other end of. He holds off, but now he'll put some pressure on. And can't quite keep his feet. Nice defense there from Williamson, the left back. But the pass from his defense partner in Del Hayes lets him down just a little bit. Another Charlottesville throw. Quarter of the way through, a half through this first half. 15 minutes gone. 0-0 our score from Charlottesville High School between Charlottesville and Patuxent. Here in some USL2 action.
And of course, if you're the Blues, you don't want Patuxent to grow into this game too much, especially as we're now, as you mentioned, 15 minutes into this first half. This is a team that has shipped 8 goals to Lionsbridge, right? Of course, that the Blues just drew 2-3-3 and also has given up at least 4 goals on 3 occasions. So it's all about getting that first goal, building that momentum, and then maybe more goals will come in succession as, the tempo of the game changes. And it's been the case in a couple other Blues home games where they've dominated the ball and it had some really good shifts, but then one moment really catches them out and then they have to play from behind.
Yeah, we will see the Blues looking for their first home win of the year. Patuxent looking for their first 3-point play of the year. Come close a couple times. The draws that they have done have been impressive enough. But they're looking a little outmatched to start this one, but certainly not out of it. Corner kick here for the Blues. Standing over it is Zach Martins. Sets. Sends it in. Madden rises like a salmon, but can't find the ball. Can Charlottesville keep the pressure on? They can, as unable to escape cleanly was Clayton. And Nana Singham will choke this one in.
Yeah, just a little bit too high for Madden, who, of course, leapt very high there, but couldn't get on the end of it. He scored one of those goals on a set piece that required a second header, and that usually always leads to bad things for defenders in the box, and he was on the end of that. He's such a physical presence and danger in the box on those set pieces. just couldn't get that one to connect.
Josh Yoder. Marquez Nunasincom. Parker Sloan. Sloan into some space. Sloan keeping his feet. Lays it off to Abdullah Mateen. Into the area. Finds the cross. A lovely hurdle move to keep his feet. Abdullah Mateen tries to find the angle, but it ricochets off of a Patuxent defender. Hurdled that man like he was on the track, just on the edge of the field.
Yeah, really acrobatic move, but some good recovery rotations by that Patuxent back line, and it seems like that defender's still shaken up.
He is indeed. Little stoppage in play here. As down just next to the goal is the Grecian Del Hayes. He's holding his knee. Hasn't looked like he's been able to extend it fully. Training staff's going to take a look at him as everybody's going to take a quick break here, use this opportunity. As the heat quite palpable today. But it's only going to get worse as the week rolls on. Some triple-digit highs expected next week in Charlottesville, including for the Wednesday match that is due up for these Blues against Christos. Approaching the 20-minute mark here. No score between Patuxent and Charlottesville. Camille, you mentioned the absence of the Blues captain, Graham Dugald. He is currently on a pro trial, set to be back on Saturday. We'll see if more details end up getting revealed on that front. But we're not at liberty to say with which team and for how long.
Absolutely, a fantastic opportunity for the captain, who, of course, is from Charlottesville. Missed last game as well, as he's been gone on that trial. But Blues able to at least get the draw there. And if you were to pick games that you'd be okay with your captain missing, I guess, this one kind of falls under that compared to, other opponents. This is one that the Blues should be able to handle without his presence. We've seen, of course, some really good shifts so far from his replacement in Vigilante.
Indeed, as looks as though Del Hayes has exited the game. And entering in his place is a defender whose number is not listed on the roster. So bear with us as we get some clarification on that. Trickling away for a Patuxent throw. Williamson will take it. Sends it in, and that's broken up. A little bit of a high boot there from Vigilante, and he's whistled there. Referee's card stays in her pocket, however. As now Martin's looking for some clarification before the free kick comes. And there it is. Hit low towards Fonfon. Villatoro now. Little bit of a heavy pass. No harm, no foul. Williamson there to recover. Villatoro again. Tries to lay it off for Williamson. Well read by Abdul Mateen. Tracking back. Sends that back in Zomber Paul's direction. He uses his height exceptionally well. Paul. Past Clayton. Through ball looking for a Corey just a touch early. Vigilante's not early though, but Metz will make a timely intervention to clear that one out of harm's way. Looks like this one's going to stay in play. Villatoro trying to find his way around, and it'll be a throw for Charlottesville. Fiedler's going to have to close this one down. And indeed he does. Looks as though it's Michael Seelhorst who has entered the game, wearing the number 23 shirt in central defense. He'll be replacing Hippolyte Del Hayes. But the Charlottesville defense keeping sharp so far. Luke Madden's been awfully good since he's been back. That pass lifted over the head of Parker Sloan, and it'll be a throw-in for Patuxent, approaching the 25-minute mark here in this first half. And it must be said, Camille, we're thinking that we might have seen more goals up to this point in time, but we remain knotted up.
Absolutely. It seems like those waves of pressure from the Blues have died down a bit. Patuxent, like we mentioned, growing into the game. That's become a reality now. And
wow, great turn from Fonfon. The effort left a little to be desired. But yes, you're right. Please continue.
Yeah, absolutely. But even though, Patuxent getting a lot more possession, but not really creating any threatening moments from it. The Blues, though, finding space in the wide channels. You've seen Abdul Mateen and Sloan really overload the right side. And it's just all about keeping that mentality, not putting too much pressure on themselves to get this first goal.
This is a nice delivery into the center. Here's Paul. Little dummy move there. Lays off for Sloan into some space. Williamson heads down to mop up, and mop up he does. But that will set up a Blues corner. And they really need to make their height advantage work for them here.
Absolutely. You see Madden and Yoder, both goal scorers from the last game, pushing up, looking to make their presence felt.
Viatoro lurking towards midfield. If a Patuxent defensive stand is made, he could be in a very dangerous position. Corner sent in, rising Madden, but a good intervention from Jamison Metz.
It's a good opportunity to break.
And now, indeed, they are. That pass looking toward Viatoro, but that's knocked out by Zach Martins, who read the cherry picking beautifully. Throw to be taken here for Patuxent. And due to take it is Brandon Betts. Haven't gotten the chance to call his name yet, but he's been another sort of quick and fiery player on this Patuxent team. This one in the direction of Gallagher. He will put two hands on it and then quickly roll it out to his right back in Sloan. Madden. Marquez Nanasinkom. Oodles of space for the Blues to play with here now. Pass toward the middle, looking for Paul. Needs a big touch. And he did for a moment there, but a good read from the substitute Seelhorst to slow that one down.
Yeah, try to get it in front of him, but well read there by Seelhorst.
If he'd have completed, it looked to have been a rainbow flick of sorts. And Paul will track that one back and mop it up, trying to hold at that position. Patuxent able to get away. Betts goes down. Challenge was not clean.
It's a harsh one there by Fiedler. Seems like he'll avoid a card, though, so a little bit fortunate, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a lucky break. That's a lucky break. A little bit of a heavy challenge.
Yeah, just completely stepped in, missed the ball, and you can see now Patuxent just getting more comfortable and absolutely having that fighting spirit at the minimum to win some of these second balls.
It's not a bad free kick into the area either. That was looking for Fonthon. Pinged back into the area by Habib Alahi. Just as quickly as it begins, that attack mopped up by the Charlottesville defense. But four attackers still lurking here for Patuxent. Nanasinkom. Triangle passing under pressure here for Charlottesville. Madden out to Sloan. Proven avenue so far in this match as we approach half an hour. 0-0 our score. Just over 27 minutes gone here between Charlottesville and Patuxent. This ball headed for a Corey, and the flag is up.
Just on a knife's edge there, seemed like a well-timed run, and you could see the ideas because this Patuxent line is playing a little bit high. But just haven't been able to connect on those balls in behind.
Yeah, seems like the plan very much is to try to catch Charlottesville napping in the defensive third. And the speed of this Patuxent team has proven that that is a viable strategy. No promising chances as of yet, but they do not look like they have slowed down an iota. Metz looks to send this long. Does so. Onto the wrong head, though, in Noel Williamson. But it works out well, as Mouliom will send that down to Williamson, working on Abdul Mateen. Abdul Mateen fights back and tries to hang on to the ball, and he does so. Earns the defensive free kick for Charlottesville. And these Blues, they're looking a little tired out there at this point. They came out swinging, had some promising chances early, and might be getting a little frustrated that they don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of frustration, but I wouldn't say there's too much to be discouraged about because the space is there.
Oh my goodness, what a back heel there from Vigilante. Cross looking for Paul. Finds him. Paul onto the left foot! And it just skirts away from him as Metz gobbles it up.
Yeah, just too many bodies in the box there to be able to deal with that, and the chest touch to himself wasn't close enough for him to really take it down immediately.
That was a really spectacular cross as well from Evan Fiedler at left back. Sloan. Vigilante with him. Good burst of speed for the midfielder. A neat little layoff from Sloan, close to the edge of the box, but the challenge was clean. Villatoro tries to let Fonfon run to the end of this. He does. Madden there to close him down. Fonfon gets behind and hangs onto the ball. But that is dealt with authority by Marquez, not a sink-on.
Madden being very decisive there, stepping up, being physical with the attacker, but a bit of an unfortunate bounce, kept it in play and then took him out of his stride.
Good tackle here. Sloan charging forward. Past one, past two. Back heel in. He was held up there by Mouliom. And free kick just wide of midfield.
Yeah, it seems like that'll be Mouliom's last warning. A bit of a, hugging, grabbing there on the sideline. And there's been a couple of really close challenges in terms of what you would expect the referee to give cards out for, and it seems like we're kind of teetering on that edge, and those might come soon as this gets more physical in a drawn game.
Yeah, really feeling the heat out there tonight. We mentioned the temperature, and even this late at night, it is likely playing its part here in this very, very physical game so far. And I have to give credit to Patuxent here, Camille. They have looked like physically, even though they have been beaten for height, they look like the better team.
They're absolutely up for it tonight for all we've said about their standing in this division, their form. This is a team that, in a sense, has nothing to lose as far as the standings go, and they've really put in a shift tonight. And despite maybe a couple of nervy moments in the back, they certainly have the pace on the counter as long as this game stays level to really cause an upset tonight. And at the moment, they're neck and neck with the Blues, who are still kicking themselves as to how this game has not gone in their favor on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about a docile tiger lying down in the back of a zoo cage, but if you go in there and try to feed it, then things get interesting. Sloan set to kick just in front of midfield. Not a sink-on.
Patuxent seems a little bit late to this restart. Blues had an opportunity there, I feel like, to really catch them, but now able to recover in their shape.
Sloan into some space. Delivery into Abdul Mateen. He turns on the pace, but does so late. Metz makes the save and sends it long. Looking for Fawn. Only finds the head of Luke Madden. Martins sends that forward. Can Abdul Mateen control? He can't.
Metz has been really active coming onto these, balls over the top by the Blues. Maybe a bit of indecisiveness, but eventually getting there in time on all of them so far and stopping them in their tracks.
Yoder. Madden. Great ball. Looking for a Corey. This time he's timed his run perfectly. Cross in towards Paul. Just too far. And yet again, another promising moment goes by the wayside for the Blues. A moment of attacking brilliance. Just lacks the finish. Throw incoming. Here it is as Sloan makes his way around Williamson. Calmly. In towards the center. Parker Sloan. Lay off for Vigilante. Vigilante back to Fiedler. Fiedler gives it off to Okore. Okore working on Betts. Lay off to Vigilante. Fiedler. To Vigilante once more. Two bodies in the box. Fiedler tries the low cross, but intercepted well by the Patuxent defense. Clearance lacking, though, and they'll turn the ball over right away. Not a Syncom now. Madden. And bad pass, uncharacteristic there from the big center back. Patuxent throw.
And as this first half has gone on, Patuxent getting just far more comfortable with dealing with the shape of the Blues attack and the sideways passing. They've been really energetic, and that's allowed them to rotate in time to their next spot when the ball keeps moving horizontally. And it's just been easier for them to know what's coming in that regard.
Scary moments here in the Blues defense. Some good pressure here from the Patuxent attackers. Villatoro angrily charging after Gallagher. He gets that one away to Fiedler only just. So they have to switch the play. Sloan. Not a Syncom. Back to Sloan. Sloan just about keeping his feet. He has Martins with him. No, instead he goes to the center, and that's easily intercepted by Pulik. On a Syncom. Dulmatine, Madden, over to Fiedler. Down to Okore. David Okore. Past Betts. Towards the box. Pass from Okore. Can't find Paul. Metz has to intervene and does. Martins was lurking just to the goalkeeper's back. Was looking for the ball to hit the ground where he could slide in and shoot it. But nothing doing. 35 minutes gone. I don't think anyone really had this match pegged for a 0-0 draw this far into it. And oh my. Down goes Fawn. And that looked a bit hard. Free kick in a dangerous situation here as the referee is going to come over and take a look. That looked to be Yoder who made the challenge on Fawn.
And he's really feeling it. Seemed like Yoder kind of, his arm was tucked to his side, went into the back of Fawn, and seemed like a 50-50 tackle. The ball was kind of out of the area by then because of the bad touch, and I understand where the referee's coming from, but of course, still a very physical challenge in nature.
Yeah, you're putting your body on the line every time you go up to try to make a touch like that. And I'm not saying it doesn't hurt, but it does appear to be quite a significant stoppage. As the rescue techs are on standby just below us on the track.
And that would be a critical loss for this Patuxent side because with him and Villatoro, that's been really mostly their deadly duo at the moment in terms of that pace in behind and a bit of link-up play.
Yeah, they really haven't seemed like they've been able to figure out Fawn. He's up. No one warming. Up of his own power. He's walking well and seems to be okay. I think they're going to take him off for just a moment to take a look at him, just to make sure he's got a clean bill of health before he re-enters the match, but it looks like we have not seen the last of him. And that is a relief. Throw-in coming here for Patuxent. For now, they'll play with 10. Williamson will take the throw. Taking his time. Chucks it in. Viatoro can't find the right foot. And Patuxent turns it over. Nanasinkum into Madden. 38 minutes gone. 0-0 our score, Charlottesville and Patuxent. Blues have had the more quality chances, but Patuxent has not looked out of this one at all. What a run here from Abdul Mateen. He really turned on the Rockets with that one. Hanging onto the ball. Gets past Williamson. Tries to find a low cross. Knocked away. But ricocheted back in by Vigilante, who was lurking. Fon just about keeps it in. And now Patuxent on the attack. Viatoro. Good turn here from Viatoro. Madden challenge, and the whistle goes. Free kick, Patuxent.
Yeah, just a little bit unlucky from Madden there. It seemed like he angled his body in a good enough way to shield the ball from Williamson, but
it might have clipped an ankle or something.
Yeah, there's been a couple of 50-50 tackles that have kind of gone both ways in terms of being called or not.
Williamson sends that one into the area. And the big Madden handles that comfortably. Huge challenge on Abdul Mateen. That was Muliam again. And that looked to me to be the most objectionable challenge of the match so far, and I heard no whistle.
Yeah, just honestly shocked to not see any cards thus far.
It's not really been that clean of a game for either side, it must be said. Because there are pretty much every single attacking chance that Charlottesville has had, they will have wanted back, and they've really surrendered a lot of unnecessary space. Speaking of space, though, here they come again. Here's Fiedler. Okori.
Oh, getting clipped
with
there.
him, and Fiedler is clipped. This time, the card comes out. And interestingly, of all the people it comes out for, that looks to be... I'm just double-checking. Habib Elahi with that challenge. We'll confirm that for you momentarily.
You know, I think he's become a victim of now this tension boiling over with the referee in terms of how the game's being called. And I believe that's his first offense. You know, it was a slight clip, but also as well of considering the position of where the foul is, that's played its role in the decision of the card. And, you know, he's going to feel harshly done there. But tensions have been kind of boiling over, and that might lead to now a little bit less leniency from the referee.
Did get confirmation. That's a little bit more like what we were expecting, as it was, in point of fact, Muliam who was issued that card for that challenge. Fiedler's still getting looked at by the training staff. And he's going to be helped up and walk off. Now the Blues down to 10 with just about 3.5 minutes remaining in regulation. 0-0 our score. Probably the most dangerous free kick that we've seen up to this point for Charlottesville. And you've already mentioned, Camille, their prowess at scoring in set pieces.
Absolutely. And this is one that has to get delivered. There's really nothing.
Swung in low. And that is a goal kick for Patuxent, unbelievably.
Yeah, I was trying to say that was one where, you know, because of the space, there's really even that two-man wall is kind of on an off angle where that ball can easily be delivered without any interruption. And I'm a little phased about why they decided to take that one low with the height that the Blues have in the box, but
strange decision, but nothing to worry about for now. Looks like they might be having to play with 10 men up until the interval. Not a Sincom with it. Into some space he goes. Sealhorse working on him, and he'll make the tackle to force the throw. Time ticking down for either of these sides to find an advantage. Throw goes in to Paul. Sloan with it now. He delivers to the big Hungarian. Lays it off for Corey, who gives it back to him. Paul will bring in Vigilante now. Into the box goes Vigilante. He'll shoot and just miss the far post.
Well, from our vantage point, looked like a really good angle there for Vigilante, but it just hooked too wide. But finding that space on his right foot, he's been able to turn and maneuver a lot with the ball, especially in the early phases of the game, but the finishing has just not been there.
He even looked for a moment that he had maybe a fraction of a second more to set that one up. But again, just a little too overzealous with the power, and we remain knotted up. Madden. Ping-pongs with Sealhorst, his opposite number. Sloan readies with the throw. 1 minute remaining in regulation. Okori. Great turn bets. David Okori towards the middle. He has Paul with him. Paul into the box. Paul hangs on just a little bit too long. Couldn't quite find the angle.
Yeah, just hesitated one too many times, and eventually the angle just took him off a really good chance at goal. But really good work by Okori there after that switch of play from Madden was kind of chopped a little bit and went into midfield, was able to turn and spring that transition moment. But once again, that final clinical moment, not there.
Okori heard you talking about him, Camille. Into the box he goes and is just about closed down by Habibulahi. 2 last-ditch, nay 3, if you count the set piece a moment ago, efforts on the defensive side for Patuxent has kept this game level.
Yeah, it's just not gone the Blues' way from a finishing perspective. Patuxent, on the other hand, that energy has been contagious, and everyone's been able to cover for their man and get on these loose balls just a little bit quicker, and that's been all the difference for them in terms of keeping the scoreline level.
Fourth official has indicated 2 minutes of stoppage time. Cross comes in towards the back post. Abdul Mateen. He gave it everything he had, but could not direct that towards goal.
Yeah, definitely not the one on this front line known for his aerial ability, but had to make an attempt at that.
Yeah, color me impressed with that jump, though. That was terrific stuff from Abdul Mateen, but found himself just spinning in the air a little bit, and you can't really find the forehead if you don't really know where your own forehead even is flying through the air. Whistle set to go any moment now. Can Charlottesville find their way back into this one? Can they find the advantage they have so desperately sought? Or will Patuxent steal one? Or neither of those things happen? We're going to have to find out. Vigilante. Madden. Not a Sincom. How much time do the Blues have left? Not a Sincom. Through ball looking for a Corey. Intercepted by Tyler Pulick, who has had a really great half in defense for Patuxent. Not a Sincom pushed off by Fonfon. 3-on-2 here for Patuxent. Desperate challenge from Not a Sincom. That's mopped up by Villatoro. Madden working on him. Good cutback, though, from Villatoro. He makes a really good effort and finds the back of the net. William Villatoro stuns Charlottesville High.
What an effort via Toro. Take a bow. That is now his 4th goal of the season, getting all of Patuxent's goals, and no better than that one. That has to be undoubtedly a goal of the season contender, not just in the Chesapeake division, but across the entire USL2. And that is one way to stun this crowd and completely get a goal against the run of play.
For the past 15 seconds or so, I have been sitting here while my very gracious partner has been talking with my mouth open, gazing in wonder at the goal that I have just seen. 32 something yards out, had some bend on it, hits the top corner against a very good goalkeeper in Ryan Gallagher. And that is absolutely unsavable. One of the most stupendous goals I have ever seen in my commentary career. It must be said. So, what an ending to that first half. Patuxent leads 1-0 against all odds against the Charlottesville Blues. We will take a quick break here in the interval before we come back and see if, once again, the Charlottesville Blues can play from behind. Keep it tuned to Sports Engine Play. Much more USL2 coming your way here on a Wednesday night. Next. Well, hopefully you've stretched your legs after the interval. Just about ready to continue here from Charlottesville High. Marshall Emmert, Camille Good with you to bring this absolutely shocking match to a close. As we start this second half, 2 substitutions on. Looks to be Sam Roberson, the first sub for the Charlottesville Blues. And alongside him, we'll get clarification for you momentarily.
I believe it's Alex Cochell.
It is indeed.
At
Good
right
spot
back.
partner. So out of the game comes Parker Sloan. David Okori drops into sort of an attacking midfield role. And Roberson will enter the attacking trio.
So a second half that can really decide if the Blues have any hope remaining in terms of making a push toward the top of the standings, as of course we're really into the second half of the season now, and these are matches on paper that you have to be winning against the lower seeded teams in this division ahead of course, rematches with the heavyweights.
Yeah, David Okori has switched over to the right wing as Abdul Mateen has exited the game. He had a great first half, as did a lot of members of the Charlottesville attack. Nothing to show for it, as the score in the top left corner of your screen would suggest. They had a great half, but it was Patuxent, the visitors, who have scored 2 goals in 4 weeks, made the third one something truly special. Already a moment here, cross towards the Patuxent goal, but that's dealt with handily by Tyler Pulick in the center of defense, who was largely responsible for putting the final touch on the defensive interventions of almost every single one of the challenging moments for his unit in front of his own goal.
And once again, I believe it was Sloan called offside there in that final phase of the movement, and that's going to be something the Blues will need to balance, as well as timing those runs right, just how selfless they want to be in this system and breaking this Patuxent defense down now that surely they'll maybe sit a little bit deeper at moments trying to defend this lead.
We will see, because no one had the go-ahead goal in the script towards the end of the first half. William Villatoro with, and I'm going to borrow your moniker for a second, Camille, because I do think you're absolutely right. Goal of the season contender, without a shadow of a doubt, from 30-plus yards out, able to beat Ryan Gallagher and give Patuxent Athletic the lead. And the card has been thrown out on a reckless challenge from Lutho Munguza to give Charlottesville a free kick and the first look of the match. Nanasinka out to Parker Sloan, who remains in the game out at left back. Marquez Nanasinka. Sloan. Vigilante with him. Sloan towards the middle. Paul into a little bit of space there, but no, Williamson will mop that one up.
Yeah, that ball just a little bit behind Paul. It seemed like it maybe hit his shoulder on the way in, and
just not really on the same page there as Roberson enters the area. Delivers that down to Sloan.
And it seems like Sloan as well switching sides here, because in the first half he was on that right-hand side.
Nanasinka pings it in. Okori was trying to put something on target, but he was noticeably offside. And it will be goal kick for Patuxent, and Jamison Metz, who had I think it's fair to say, solid first half against this Charlottesville attack that has been very strong in its previous few matches to this one.
Absolutely, and Metz, wasn't really tested from the Blues in terms of shots on target, because Vigilante especially had a couple of really good opportunities and just failed to even put it on frame. But Metz was very active off of his line, getting to some balls in behind.
Good passing here from the Blues. Vigilante, as we were just speaking about him, pings it into the area. This is onside. Pass toward Paul again. Shot saved by Metz. David Okori looked to be the one to finally beat the Patuxent keeper. Swung in and fired that one low with his left foot, but Metz found it perfectly and mopped it up. Why did Sam Roberson not shoot?
Just an incredible chance once again. It was Okori tracking that one the whole way as it spilled through a couple of players, including Paul, and just all he had to do was tap it home from basically the edge of the 6-yard box and went straight at Metz.
And a correction, I believe that was Alex Kochel. His status as a defender might answer my question. But here comes Patuxent here. Pulick. Down the left wing, charging after it with reckless abandon is Noah Williamson. And it results in nothing. But I have to single that out, Camille, because we have seen runs like that. Marauding runs, as they are commonly called, all match long from Patuxent, and they don't necessarily lead to anything, but it almost instantly puts Charlottesville on notice.
Absolutely, and it's a byproduct of this energy between the whole team. Of course, even before that goal, they came in with this attitude, with this mindset, and they may not have the lion's share of the possession, but they've been very active.
Roberson tries to find the cross, but that's read beautifully by Metz. Sends it deep, looking for Villatoro, the goal scorer. Luke Madden, with the better reaction, turns and sends that back to his keeper. 50 minutes gone, 1-0 our score. Villatoro's goal, the difference. Patuxent in the lead against the 5th-place team in the Chesapeake division of USL2, the Charlottesville Blues, who are yet to win a match at home in the 2025 season.
You can see Martins and Roberson are just towing that line as the Patuxent back line kind of inches forward a little bit in moments, really hoping to catch it in behind and spring forward a chance, but at the moment, it's gotten a little bit choppy.
Good intervention from Kochel. Paul pinged that one forward looking for Okori, but Okori wasn't able to time his run properly. Metz shoots this one low. Good layoff here, and now Betts on his way. Too slow to get away from Roberson, but a good pass up to Fonfon. Mopped up well by Martins. At one point, this Charlottesville midfield looked like they had the run of Patuxent, and these Greens have really buckled down. Just doesn't seem right, the Greens. I'm going to keep working on the nickname. Martins leaves it for Kochel.
They might need to steal the new USL side Portland Bangers name.
Ooh.
After that goal by
the Screamers.
Villatoro, making a case for that nickname.
Might steal the term used to describe as, I'm going to put a pause on that thought for just a moment. Look for a moment that Aiden Clayton was away. But I caught up with my friend Dr. Jim Lark just sitting below the press box window. Described that goal as a belter. And I always love that term, and that's exactly what that is. I don't know, we can call them the bangers. I like this idea. We'll suggest it to the coach at the end of the game. Blues on the attack for now. Will that banger mean something? So far, so good. 1 goal to the good. Looking to pull off the upset here at the home of the Charlottesville Blues.
And we saw the same when they played Virginia Beach a couple weeks back. There was only that 1 goal in the first half, very, very late in that first half, and it It was that one moment that decided it, and from there, the Blues still had possession, had chances, had space, but they've honestly found miraculous ways to not score despite having some really good passing sequences and overloading runners in the box.
Marquez Notasinkon. Zach Martins. Roberson with him down the left wing, lays it off for him, but Roberson wasn't running for it. Here's Betts. Trying to turn his Clayton. No way through. It pings into Martins. Martins towards the edge of the area. Trying to close him down is Paul. Martins is challenged, goes down, and draws the foul. And here again, another promising free kick for the Blues. Can they convert it? Last time it was a low in-swinger. And there was nothing whatsoever that could be gleaned from it. Martins and looks to be Coach Shell standing over this.
It's a fantastic setup here. You know, the angle for this wall, clearly trying to block that direct attempt, but there's really a path here for a headed ball.
Vigilante towards the back post and beats Metz! Well, he has been absolutely dynamic all match long. He has all near single-handedly kept his squad in the game. And Samuel Vigilante will knock the match up at 1 here in the 55th minute for the Charlottesville Blues at just the right time.
These two teams trading spectacular goals, and a fantastic moment as well for the Blues to equalize this. It's still early on in this second half. Vigilante, as you mentioned, has been fantastic all game and missed a couple of opportunities entirely. And third time seemed to have been the charm on that set piece. A beautiful shot off the post.
Redemption. And a heroic maneuver. Showing up at just the right time when his team needs it most. And if at any point these Blues were feeling demoralized to start this second half, the bad mojo is gone. And now they can look for a winner. That's pinged into the area looking for Villatoro. Gallagher mops it up and sends it free. Into space goes Alex Cochelle. Vigilante. Back to Cochelle. Cochelle charging. Okori with him. It's a lovely through ball here to David Okori. Okori with the cross looking for Roberson. Finds him. Roberson with the angle. Saved by Metz. Still with it here for the Blues. And a desperate clearance there by, looked to be Betts, who had tracked back. Tried to find Clayton running far with it.
Well, that was some fantastic composure by Roberson in the box, but eventually Metz just with a better save, honestly. It wasn't directly at him.
That's pinged into the area to Vigilante. Can't corral it. Metz hustles it up. We've got a ball game again.
Blues certainly sensing blood in the water here.
Towards midfield. Notasinkon. Martins. Heads that back towards Vigilante. Pulick will mop up. Sends it to a friendly pair of boots. Fonfon offside. Charlottesville looking to take quickly. Taking it quickly. Here's Madden. Over to Sloan. Roberson into significant space down the left wing. So he'll instead send it back to Yoder. Here's Sloan. Now here comes Roberson. Into the midfield. Dummy move there for Notasinkon on Fonfon. Cochelle. Okori now down the right wing. Zach Martins. Good footwork from the Charlottesville midfielder. Into the middle is Paul onside. He is for now. But he has his pocket picked. It's knocked back to Yoder. Not a Syncom, and now a stoppage in play. Oh, no, perhaps not. Thought for a second everybody slowed down. But no, the Blues remaining with the pressure on, and an odd sequence comes to an end. Approaching the 60-minute mark here in this one. 30 minutes left to play. 1-1 our score. 2 world-class goals one for each side. Sloan up to Roberson. Seelhorst will close that down. Roberson will take. Delivers into Nana Syncom. End-to-end stuff here between Charlottesville and Patuxent. Great turn from Marquez Nana Syncom. Pinged in towards Paul. Can he find the goal to put him ahead? There it is! We'll get clarification on the scrum momentarily. But a team effort from the Blues saw them climb out of this hole. They want their first home win. They need their first home win. And they are going to get it if this result holds. A great ball in that started on a sequence from Marquez Nana Syncom. He sends it into Zomber Paul. An initial effort saved by Metz. But on the charge, it was either Zach Martins or Vigilante getting his second of the match to put that one away.
And regardless, though, just a fantastic combination play, and Paul using his physical presence to what almost spilled into the box, and then the goal scorer able to tap it home after that second effort. And the Blues have all come back in just 15 minutes in the second half with so much time to go, and now playing from ahead. Now what types of opportunities and space will they find here?
Well, it took a while for the home side to take the lead, but the lead they have thanks to the right foot of Zach Martins, putting them ahead. There he is, pinging it forward here to Paul. Paul dispossessed with a questionable challenge, shall we say, from Munguza already in the referee's book. Card will remain in her pocket for now. Substitutions set to be made. It is a 3-man change for Patuxent and 2 for Charlottesville. Entering the game are Jaden Say-Bailey and Nathan Lamb for Charlottesville. And on the other side, looks to be Santiago Gibrila alongside Dalen Riley. And a third man, we will get clarification for you as it appears. It'll be a free kick here, just inside of the middle third, as now Lamb will enter. Takes his place in midfield as the goal scorer Martins will sit alongside Zomber Paul, who has been very lethal all match long. So that will make way for Jaden Say-Bailey to take his place at right wing, and a Corey moving to a center forward role, having played all 3 attacking positions so far in this match. Sloan forward looking for Roberson. Does not find him. Ball stays in play for just a moment. Now it goes out. Charlottesville throw. Sloan. Roberson. Back to a Corey who's tracked back. Marquez Nanasinkan. Josh Yoder. Yoder. Down the right wing he goes. Alex Kershell. Say Bailey. Nanasinkan tries the back heel. He is smothered a little bit, and now tripping is... Not really sure what the stoppage was there.
I believe offside on that run.
A very late offside call, if that's the case.
Absolutely no VAR, so the assistant referee has to be sure of his decision there.
Lamb sending it forward for Okori. Okori does find his way into the box with the ball. Good cut, Okori! And it might have been deflected there. If not, just needed a little bit of a more clinical finish.
Yep, just a little bit too fast. Feet.
Needed the side of the boot there instead of the toe.
Yeah.
But it'll be a throw-in for Patuxent. As looked to be Gibrilla getting his first touch of the match on that one. Does Patuxent have another moment of magic in it to try to find an equalizer? Gibrilla. He's dispossessed by Say Bailey. Sent back into the middle. Tries to play in Okori as Vigilante trying to put his fingerprints all over this match. Out to Betts. Brandon Betts for Patuxent. Neat little back heel. Does find its way into a teammate. It's Ngassam. Christopher Ngassam for Patuxent. And he can't keep that one in. But looks to be corner Patuxent. Or a long throw, excuse me. Dangerous position here for the visitors. As indeed, it is Gibrilla, Ngassam, and I believe Dalen Riley who has entered the match. Corner to be taken as we approach the 70-minute mark. 66 minutes gone. It's taken long. Seelhorst tries to corral that. He's working on Roberson. Does Michael Seelhorst. Tries to find Fonfon, but the clearance made. Only as far, though, as Habib Alahi, who made a speculative effort. David Okori trying to dispossess the Patuxent defense, but it's knocked towards the middle. Villatoro in a dangerous situation. He, unfortunately, is unable to find his feet properly with three men on him, properly being covered now after that screamer that gave Patuxent the lead at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and Madden there with that calming presence to step in and ease things on that back line, but
yeah, you're not going to fool him twice. Blues trying to fight their way out of their own third. They do, only just for a moment. Ngassam lurking. Well played by Nanasinkan. Takes the safe option. Out to Sloan. And one final correction for you. That third and final sub is, in fact, Brian Perez. Wearing the number 12 shirt for Patuxent. Who have stayed on the attack here. 4-on-3. And working vigorously to try to keep that one out of harm's way was Alex Kershell. As a promising attack courtesy of Noel Williamson goes by the wayside. Jaden Say Bailey tried to get away, but instead it'll be a throw-in for Patuxent. Sun's gone down here at Charlottesville High. Terrific night for football. 2-1 our score as the 70th minute mark approaches. Now Say Bailey gets away. Neat little 1-2 sequence. And now here comes Nathan Lamb. Plays his college ball at Old Dominion. It's down the road in Norfolk. Josh Yoder. Down to Sloan. Tries to play in Corey. Corey's on side, but he gave up on it. As the flag is up. Pinged long. This one trying to find Villatoro. Well played there by Koshel. Laid off in the middle. Here for Nanasinkam. Vigilante. Now down the right wing with Koshel. Lamb in support. He's pushed out for a throw. We'd like to encourage you to join us for our next broadcast here from Charlottesville High School, coming up this Saturday evening, June the 21st, for the battle with Cristo. Same time, same channel here on Sports Engine Play, 7:30 p.m. for the men's contest between the two sides. Be a hot one, but should be another beautiful weather day. And if you are in the area, come on out and watch some good football. Been a lovely evening for it so far. And J.C. Bailey has also entered the game as we catch his eye at left back. Roberson wins the corner for Charlottesville. Looks as though Parker Sloan has made way. And a terrific shift on defense for Tommy Denuzzo's men.
Correct there, partner. Sloan coming off. He's been just about everywhere, not even defensively, but playing as that wing back. He switched sides in the second half as well and created even more opportunities to lead the Blues for this comeback effort.
Indeed, a versatile player. Does play both sides in fullback for George Gelnovach's men during the year for the University of Virginia. As that's played in well by Roberson, looking for David Okori, a man down for Patuxent. That trickles away. J.C. Bailey will throw that one in a little bit. As another player is going to get looked at for Patuxent. This looks to be Tyler Pulick, their central defender. And this is going to be a little worrisome, as he has been instrumental in holding this Blues lineup to just 2 goals. Hobbling just a little bit, stretches, and just seems like he's got the wind knocked out of him a little bit. Should be all set to go. 72 minutes gone here in this match. 2-1 our score. Goals from Charlottesville's 2 midfielders, Sam Vigilante and Zach Martins. Vigilante getting the equalizer and the go-ahead for Seville's number 8. What a sequence here. Speaking of Vigilante, he times his run perfectly, tries to send that out to Okori, but it looked like he had a little bit of space in front of him. No harm, no foul here. Roberson charging in for the Blues again. Gives to Nanasinkam. They'll switch to play over to Alex Koshel. Koshel has help in Jaden Say Bailey. Lays it off for Koshel. Koshel tries to find the cross. He was looking for Roberson. That's well intercepted. Turning again is Say Bailey. And the flag is up. Promising sequence comes to nothing as the offside flag helps out the visitors yet again today. Saw the very first goal that was scored by Zomber Paul disallowed way back in the 6th minute, which seems like an eternity ago with all this action. J.C. Bailey. Lamb. Over to Nanasinkam. Man down for Charlottesville. They're continuing to play. Good tackle. Villatoro will charge in onto the end of that, and he finds his way onto the ball. Forward he goes, looking for Terry Fonfon. Finds him. It's a 3-on-3. Into the box goes Fonfon. The layoff shot is going to get knocked off the post and ricochet back in. But the flag is up. Well, oh well, what a sequence. The Blues are going to hang on to the lead. Only just. We'll make an effort to break that one down because it happened awfully quickly.
Yeah, the flag has gone a fair amount of times in this match between both teams. And as we, I believe, go into a bit of a break, it was a bit of a unlucky touch by Madden, and as he was trying to track back because the pass in behind didn't have the right pace on it, but it just kind of deflected off his toe and took it into the path of that Patuxent attacker. And fortunately for the Blues, that rebound effort was offside. So it remains 2-1. And some risky moments, but it goes unpunished. And the Blues will need to learn from that and be a little bit more careful in these final 15 minutes to hold on to this very valuable win, which would be the first at home.
So it was Santagie Gabriela who was able to knock his own rebound home for what he thought was the equalizing goal in yet another promising attack that was set up by William Viatorre, who is responsible for Patuxent's one goal. And that was just a reminder that, or a statement of intent, as it were, to the Blues. They are not out of this game yet. Still a very physical 15 minutes yet to come. Likely even 20 with some of these substitutions that have had to happen due to the heat and some of the injuries and the sheer physical nature of this game. But it reads like the first American commander of the 101st Airborne Division during the Battle of the Bulge, with his one-word reply to the German attackers when asked for surrender. Nuts. The defiant reply has come. They're going to try to find an equalizer, maybe even a winner if they're lucky, and they have been before. A moment of brilliance gave them a lead once. Will it materialize again? Roberson. Towards the middle. He gives to Lamb. Lamb down the right wing for, say, Bailey. And we do actually have another substitution to report on. I'm going to mention that now as the flag goes up. As entering the match in the center for a very tired, I'm sure, David Okori, is the man wearing the number 30 shirt by the looks of things. Oh, no, he's gone into the midfield, excuse me. Okori remains on the pitch.
It's a good attacking opportunity here, but some good backtracking by the Blues, including that clearance by Madden.
Thanks for picking that up as I was just getting substitution clarification. We don't have a number 30 on our roster.
Correct, partner. Not
Just giving it the eyeball, I'm going to throw out Yassine Rumar from our advantage point up here in the press box. We'll get clarification for you. Do not quote me on that. You watching us at home, playing along. Hopefully you've enjoyed this match as much as we have calling it. It's had just about everything. All sorts of action, end-to-end stuff. Hasn't really seemed like there's been a dry moment of it at all. And now, just under 12 minutes remaining in regulation. Kai Feng is the confirmation as that just about skirts over the top of Ryan Gallagher's goal, and he'll take a sigh of relief, shaking the net a little bit just to get his head back in the game. Understandable considering the match he's had. Played short here to Josh Yoder. It finds Sam Roberson. Lays it off to, say, Bailey, who is already in stride. He does have to track back to find that one. It's kept in until Yoder clears it away. Just needs to get back on the same page here with the new substitutions. Long throw sent in. Now the cross looking for Villatoro. Goes nowhere. Gibrila sends that one back in towards Ngasa. And clattering to the floor, a pair of players, one on each side. Villatoro tries to find his boot, but it is intercepted and cleared away by Nathan Lamb. That was Brandon Betts who was able to put that one on plane in Villatoro's direction. But it will result in nothing. Goal kick. But high press has been applied. And looks like they're going to try and force Gallagher to play this one long. And he will do just that. 80 minutes gone. 2-1 our score. Samuel Vigilante and Zach Martins, the goal scorers for the Blues, both coming in the second half after William Villatoro's screamer initially put them ahead. Charging forward is Sam Roberson now. He's broken free, just the keeper to beat. Shoots and is denied by Jamison Metz. Just mentioning the goals that he's given up, but he has saved an innumerable number more.
Well, it's a two-sided coin because you would think, well, how has Patuxent given up so many goals when Metz is performing to this level? But at the same time, you could see the chances that the Blues are getting, and Roberson there with the time to pick his spot and just a better reaction save on that ground shot.
It's a great team effort. In swinger looking for Josh Yoder. He's blocked and the pass cleared away. Fang tries to turn and slips. And now charging forward is Terry Fonfon, who has not looked like he's lost a step all match long. Gets ready to take the throw quickly. Intercepted by Sabe Bailey. Knocks forward for Ngasa, but the flag is up. And they are leaning on what they do well, Patuxent, using that absolutely boundless energy to continue to cause problems and not let defenses breathe. Looks to be free kick here in the Charlottesville defensive third. Gallagher will come up to take this. Oh, no, perhaps not. Yoder takes it quickly, and now here comes J.C. Bailey. Lifted forward. Was looking for a Corey, nothing doing. An attempted interception by Lamb. Results in nothing. Perez. Closed down by Koshel, and he clears that away to Jaden Say Bailey. Heavy touch, no harm done. Into the center he goes. Here's Kai Fang. Or that was not a Syncom, excuse me, who was trying to get open. He was furious that Roberson didn't see his run. Roberson gets a second chance at it, but he can't find his teammate. And that goes out for a Patuxent throw. 82 minutes gone. 8 minutes left, plus a little bit more in terms of stoppage time for Patuxent to find an equalizer and maybe even a winner. This has felt much more like a basketball game than a football match, with how quickly this thing has gone and how often the action goes end to end. All that's been missing is the scoring. And even then, what we've gotten has been truly resplendent on all accounts.
Absolutely. And
what a run there from Fonfon, as Gallagher reads that well.
Yeah, good on Gallagher to get out there. But although this may not have been the way the Blues expected it to be played out, we're now in the final phases of the game, and they'll be looking to close this out. Whether they get another goal is in question here. We'll see.
What a ball from Nana Syncom. Tries to find Okori. And Metz just about gobbles that one up. Fang is going to try to track this one down. He does. as Metz is unable to get back into his goal before he turns the ball over. Say Bailey into the midfield, and we'll try again.
Yeah, Okori obviously with plenty of time, but it seemed like by the time he decided to potentially include Asai Bailey, his teammate was in an offside position, so he was forced to shoot, and credit to the goalkeeper, made himself big and forced that double save.
Approaching the 85th minute here as Santiago Gabriela is getting a talking to from the referee. The training staff is going to come take a look at him just to make sure he's all right. Again, Patuxent goes down to 10. Free kick taken, and here come the Blues. Can they get a third and put this one out of reach? Roberson working on Betts, charging forward into the corner. Okori with him. Okori tries to knock it forward. No way through. Fonfon turns. Yoder reads it well, but is getting his pocket picked. Fonfon delivery towards Villatoro. Forces a good intervention from Koshel, who has really put the Patuxent number 10 in his pocket since he's entered the game. Fang. Out to say Bailey. Into the middle. Here's Nana Singcom. Controlled attack here from the Blues. Ball goes through to Okori, and the flag is up. If he'd have been a step or two further back, that would have been a near perfect ball.
Yeah, and it was kind of a double jeopardy there because he was just a little bit too far, and that's why the ball came in behind him, and the touch was left a little bit to be desired.
Villatoro tries again to turn Koshel, but comes up empty. Now they'll try the play into to Okori. It finds him. Okori with a curving effort finds the bottom corner. David Okori gets the reward for a near 90-minute shift of spectacular football and has put this match out of reach for Patuxent as the Blues lead 3-1, sending this home crowd here in Charlottesville, who's already used to seeing him play in the fall, berserk on a beautiful summer Wednesday night.
Fantastically taken, and it was truly only a matter of time with just how much space was opening up behind this Patuxent back line with so many runs in behind. Okori at the charge, leading the charge for that, and decided to just finally hit it across goal and caught the goalkeeper off guard, moving to his right, and just a well-timed finish and a much-deserving goal for Okori, who's put in a shift in midfield and now playing, of course, up high in the second half.
And the opening move following that goal looked promising for just a moment, and a red card has come out for the Patuxent goal scorer, William Villatoro. And that was very, very quick and does seem to have been coming. He's been getting quite animated and losing a little bit of his emotional composure. And Patuxent will play the last 2 minutes of regulation and stoppage time with just 10 men. Just reckless.
Yeah, and truly just a tale of two halves for him and this Patuxent side, obviously with that incredible goal that had this side dreaming of at least getting a point out of this match, potentially even stealing all 3 points. And the frustration has kicked in as his side hasn't been able to keep up that same tempo and solidity at the back in this second half, and seems like they're on course for now what would be the 7th loss in 8 games.
Cadre of subs entering the action for Patuxent, and a last-ditch effort from their defense just about stopping a threatening move from Kai Fang. Charging forward, Koshel. He'll put that one back into the feet of Tyler Pulick. Seelhorst. Habib Alahi. He's looking for Gamasa. Free kick ready to be taken. Here's Perez to take. He will instead make way for Habib Alahi. 30 seconds remaining here in regulation. The fourth official standing by to make the stoppage time signal. It's a good ball in, but it's off the top of the head of Gamasa. And that's what you needed to do if you're Patuxent. With a great goal like that, goal number 3, you needed to answer fast to try and signal to Charlottesville that they've got more left in it. And just 1 minute of stoppage time has been the decision. Fang. Delivery in towards Roberson.
Looks onside.
Flag stays down. Sam Roberson looking to put this thing out of reach. A curving effort with the left foot goes wide of the far post.
Just the same type of finish that Okori applied, but took himself on a bit of a wider angle, and the ball was always fading away.
Yeah, that's tricky on your weak foot like that. Looking to try to join the party, but unfortunately comes up empty on that occasion. Just about 40 seconds left for a last bit of action. 3-1 our score. Zach Martins, Samuel Vigilante, and David Okori, your goal scorers for the Blues in what looks to be their very first home win of the 2025 season. Blues threatening once more. Pass goes in from Okori. Say Bailey trying to find his way through. Intercepted by the Patuxent defense. Fonfon trying to charge on the other side. Yoder closes that down. Gallagher keeps it at his feet and sends it on. Koshel. Into the midfield. Lamb tracking back. Gives to Madden. Out to midfield. Noah Williamson for Patuxent. He sends that out, and it will be a throw-in for Charlottesville. Whistle to come any second now. Throw in, and that'll do it. Victory for the Charlottesville Blues. For the first time in the friendly confines in 2025. It's their first year here on this ground, and that 3-point finish has eluded them halfway through this season until right now. A dramatic finish. All 3 goals coming in the second half to come back after a shocking end of the first half. Samuel Vigilante gets the equalizer with a spectacular finish off the set piece. Zach Martins finds his way through a scrum to give the Blues the lead midway through the second half. And David Okori uses his terrific clinical ability and his excellent speed and attacking prowess honed right here at the University of Virginia to put this thing away right on the edge with a beautiful curved finish. 3-1, our final. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. I know I have, Camille. This was a little nervy, but I think, you look like you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. A fantastic second half effort by the Blues, and didn't let that goal from Villatoro phase them. Opened the second half with 2 goals inside the opening 15 minutes, and fantastic resilience, a match they needed to win to have any type of hope going forward in the standings, and they did just that. And another favorable matchup against Christos coming up on the weekend. So very much momentum to take from this match, and they'll be looking to use that going forward with another favorable matchup ahead.
Well, we will see on Saturday. I'll encourage you one final time to join us that Saturday evening, 7:30 start between Charlottesville and Christos, looking to make it 2 wins from 2 here on this homestand. As for Patuxent, they will likely think that this got away from them a little bit. A really spectacular goal from William Villatoro to lead his team. And it's something that you're going to be looking back on as a possible goal of the season, something that seemed to defy physics. But a red card will take him out of the next match ahead for the unlucky, hapless Maryland side. Uncertain times ahead, and a full 3 points still eludes them. But a very good performance for them tonight, despite the result. They did manage to get 1 on the scoreboard, but the Blues are your winners tonight. For Camille Gut, I've been Marshall Lemmer. Thank you for tuning into USL2 action here on Sports Engine Play. The Charlottesville Blues are your winners, 3-1. Our next broadcast this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll see you then. Have a nice rest of your Wednesday.